everyone, it's Adele Di Casso here. I hope you're well. I've come on today. I have a few things that I want to share with you. I wanted to talk about a few different things to do with business. So they're kind of business tips, but they're all sort of for directed at people that are more of a quieter nature, people that are shy, maybe introverts, but all the people that I like to, help in the world, because I'm a shy person myself. So I've always had this desire to, help other shy entrepreneurs, people that, want to do something with their life, people that, really have that entrepreneurial spirit, but maybe feel a little bit nervous and anxious about putting something out there into the world. So I have a handful of tips for you today. The first one is I'm going to share things that I've learned from experience and what I've found has helped me a lot, helped me the most. So the first thing that I really believe has helped me over the years is to just stretch myself and challenge myself to do things that are a little bit outside of my comfort zone. So I've talked about comfort zone a lot before on my blogs and on previous videos. I don't believe that we should push ourselves too far, because I feel like we can do more harm than good. But if we just push ourselves that little bit, I'm always doing this on a day-to-day basis. I'm pushing myself a little bit outside of the comfort zone, because when you do that, you will find that you can achieve bigger things as time goes on. So something that would have been really challenging, at first, would become something that you would find, not so challenging after you've done it a few times. So I just want to share a couple of stories with you of how I did this recently. So we've just been in London celebrating my birthday. We were actually there for 5 nights. It was amazing. We'd booked 2 nights for my birthday, and then my husband, it turned out he had something he had to attend in London, an awards ceremony. And that was a few days before we were due to go. So we actually went for that and then stayed down. We didn't come back in between because it was just it would have been too much, inconvenience to come back in between. So we decided we'd just stay there. So it actually worked out for the best. It was brilliant, because I've always wanted to spend more time in London. I always feel that when we go that we're only there for a short time, and I feel like I can't relax into it properly. So I always enjoy it, but it was nice to go for a bit longer. So we did. And so one day we were doing, just hanging around in the reception area of the hotel, because my husband had some work to do. I was catching up on some workshops that I'd been following that week. And as I was sitting in the lobby, I overheard a gentleman who was obviously doing some sort of Zoom call or webinar or something. So I didn't really think anything of it at first. He was just talking away. And then a few things that he mentioned made me, really perk up and listen to what he was saying. And he was talking about public speaking, and he was training people on how to do public speaking if they were new to it. And he then sort of referred to, a bit later on his presentation, he referred to when he'd first started, how he'd been so shy and nervous, and, and it really took him a while to sort of, get over his anxiety about doing it. And I thought, oh my goodness, I can so relate to this. I really need to speak to this chap. And I mentioned it to my husband, who hadn't really heard what was going on because he was deep in his work. And he said, oh, you should go and speak to him. And to be honest, I had been making an effort to sort of connect more with people, either face to face or, online networking events. So it just seemed like it was meant to be. I was meant to, go up and introduce myself to this guy. So obviously I'm sitting there thinking, because this presentation went on for ages. He was talking for a good couple of hours. So I'm sitting there and sort of building up to a particular moment where it would have been, easy for me to go up to him. I was trying to sort of wait for that moment when he'd finished. So he obviously finished the presentation. Then he'd got somebody with him that had been out for a walk whilst he was doing it, and she'd come back, and so then they got into deep conversation. So it felt quite an awkward moment to go up. So I sat there a bit longer, and then he got up to leave. And they got up, and the pair of them were obviously going to go and check into their hotel room. So I just thought, this is it. If I don't do it now, I'm not going to see, I might not see him again. So I literally stood up. I said to my husband, Jamie, I said, I'm going to go over and introduce myself. And I just did it. I just walked up to him, and I figured out what I was going to say once I'd got there. So I just walked up to him and I said, I hope you don't mind, but I couldn't help but overhear what you were talking about. And I just feel like we've got a lot in common. And he was so nice, and we had a good chat. He was a lecturer at a university, and we had a really good chat. He asked for if I was on social media. We connected on LinkedIn, and he said his business outside of being a lecturer was helping entrepreneurs that are starting up in business, helping them to public speak and to get their message out. So it was really interesting to connect with him. And I just think you just never know, do you? You never know what's going to come of these connections. You really don't. The more people that you can connect with, and especially if you've had a face-to-face conversation first of all, I feel like the connection is deeper than if you just connected online. So so you just never know. But it was a nice chat, and even if all I got out of it was the fact that I'd pushed myself to go over and speak to him, then that's enough for me. It's how we grow in these moments, isn't it? It's how we grow and develop with each thing that we try that we haven't done before. So that was the first one. The second thing, the second way I pushed myself out of my comfort zone that day was we were going to the theatre at night. It was a show. We've seen this show hundreds of times. Well, literally, I can't count. I've lost count of how many times we've seen it now. It's called Les Miserables. It's on stage in London. It's been there for years. We first went and saw it in 2009. And it was I remember it well because I'd just published my first book. We'd gone to London to celebrate, and we'd gone to the theatre that night. So I remember it so well. So yeah, this particular actor was in it on that that first time we'd seen it, and he was now in it again, playing a different role. And I just always admired this actor. I mean, they're all so talented. They really are so talented. We've spoke to so many of them in the past, and they're so amazing to talk to. And they so appreciate you, going up to them afterwards and just having a chat. So I'd never spoke to this particular person. And I said to my husband again, I said, if it's raining after the show, then we won't go backstage. But if it isn't, we'll go backstage, and I'll see if I can, have a chat with this guy and get a photo. So we were waiting and waiting. It was raining, but I decided I didn't mind. I was going to stand in the rain. And we waited for him to come out, and he came out, and it was just very busy at the back of the back of the stage door area was. There was congestion. We didn't know which way, people were going to go when they came out of the stage door. So we were sort of hovering. And then I saw what I thought was the one I wanted to speak to, but I wasn't certain because he had a cap on. And then all of a sudden I just thought, no, I think it's him. I've got to commit. So I just sort of walked with confidence, as my son says. He'll always say this. My 15-year-old son will say, just walk in with confidence. We've used it in so many situations. So I walked up with confidence and I just shouted his name. I said, David. Anyway, at the same time, another lady had also approached him. So it was called, we sort of had a little laugh about that, and I said she could go first. So she went first. She was talking to him for quite a while, and I was sort of patiently waiting. And then it was my turn. So we had a really nice chat. I felt like I was very tongue-tied when I was talking to him, because I had so much I wanted to, to say. But we just thanked him for a really good performance. And, even though I was tongue-tied, I was really proud that I'd made the effort to go up to him and just stepped out of my comfort zone again. So that was really, really great. We got a photo, and, I'll have that photo forever and treasure it. And just knowing that, these people are so grateful that, that you've gone up to them. You feel like, I felt like so appreciative for them to share their talents. I think they're amazing. But they always feel, the other way. They feel appreciative to you for going to support them and watch them. So that was really nice. So two really great conversations, two ways in which I stepped out of my comfort zone that day. So it could be anything for you, just look for opportunities where you can just push yourself and step out of your comfort zone just that little bit. And then next time you'll find it easier, and you'll just keep doing more and more things. And then you'll just find that, there's more things that you feel confident about. It's just really, really good how it works. So that was that. The second thing I wanted to talk about was, as an introvert or a shyer, quieter person, you can still, you can succeed in business. You so can, because you can mold your business to the way that suits you and how you want to run your day-to-day, life and how you work. So for me, I started off obviously in network marketing, and I'm still in network marketing today, and I absolutely love it. And I feel like it's a really great place for someone like myself, because again, you can, build up, you can stretch out of your comfort zone a little bit each time. I always remember, speaking at the front of a room when I first joined my network marketing business, and I dreaded it. I absolutely, I was so nervous. I just really didn't want to do it. But again, I pushed myself. I did a little bit, and then I progressed to speaking in front of bigger audiences for a longer period of time, and that's how I grew. But these days, you can join a network marketing business. You don't even have to speak in front of a room. It's different. It's so different today to how it was then. Yes, we do still have physical events, but a lot of our things are online now. With this industry, you can just point people in the direction of what they need. 9 times out of 10, you're working one-to-one with people, so it's not like big numbers. Yes, we have Zooms where you can attend them, but you can people can just sit and watch. As you progress, you can perhaps start to ask a question or two, or speak up, or or even provide some training yourself. So it's a great way to develop. So I love the industry, but even if it's not network marketing, it's it could be another form of business, but you can still choose how you run that business. You don't have to be out talking face to face to people. You can work from home, you can work from your laptop, on social media, you can write blog posts, you can write a book. There's so many things that we can do as quieter types, introverts, that suit our personality. And also, I think the great thing about running your own business is that you can take time out when you need to, so you can stop and recharge at any point. So it is so possible for you to run a business that suits you when you are a shy or quieter person. The next thing I wanted to talk about was just something that I've noticed recently that I've picked myself up on, and I wanted to talk about. I've talked about this a lot. I talk about changing your inner dialogue, when you've got this self-talk going on inside your head, and it just doesn't serve you, doesn't do you any favors whatsoever. So I'm very good with my affirmations. I've got different affirmations for different things. I always say my affirmations every day. I write them down. But recently I'd noticed that I'd started to say something to myself over and over again, and it was things like, it's two things. It was I always struggle when it comes to marketing, and it was I always struggle with the tech side. And I thought, hang on a minute, this sounds familiar. I'm always saying this to myself. My husband actually picked me up on it the other day, because I said, I've got all these ideas, but I always struggle with the tech. I'm like, stop it. So I've just decided now, over the last few weeks, I've just stopped myself. Whenever I feel that thought coming on, I stop myself and I replace it with, I'm really good at the tech. I'll always find a way. I'll always work it out. Or, with the marketing side. I love marketing. I'm really good at it. I always find a way to market that suits me and my personality. So, you just got to, it might not be those sort of things for you, but if it's something similar, just learn to stop yourself and snap yourself out of it, because you literally, everybody does this. They'll always say, I'm not good at that, or that's where I struggle. And you've just got to pull yourself up on it and stop it, because it just literally doesn't do you any favors whatsoever. The last thing I want to talk about is where business is concerned, and this happens a lot again in my life. Sometimes when we sit down with the intention of coming up with what we're going to do, we're planning out our business, we're trying to come up with ideas and, brainstorming and things. Sometimes when you sit down to actually do that and you've put the time aside to do it, it doesn't actually work. I find that I have my best ideas when I'm actually relaxing. So usually at a weekend, if the boys are sitting down to watch a film and I sit down and read my book, I'll just find that because I'm in that relaxed state, I'll come up with ideas. So I've always got a notepad and pen with me to write down ideas as they come in. It'll, sometimes happens when I'm out for a walk with the dogs, or if I'm shopping. I find that I have my most inspired moments in those sort of times, not when I've actually sat down to purposefully, think about business and ideas. So just remember that, and as introverts and shyer people, we do need that time to recharge. And, especially if we've been in a bigger group of people, we need to, relax and come down and just re-energize. So you might find that works for you as well. If you can get into the habit of making that time for yourself, you'll find that you do have these inspired ideas that you can act on. And when you act on ideas like that, they will 100% be, the right ideas. They certainly were, because inspired action is the best form of action that you can take. It's much more better to act on inspired action than to just sit down and force things out of your head. It just, it really is the best way. So that was the last thing I wanted to mention. So thank you for listening. I hope you've enjoyed the tips. I hope you'll try them out. Or also, I hope, if you have any ideas, please share them with me. I'd love to hear. If you have any questions, obviously feel free to get in touch with me, and I'll make videos to answer them. Before I go, I just wanted to tell you about my free guide. If you are, if you can relate to the things I'm saying and you are a shy person, or, somebody that lacks a bit of confidence in business, then, you would love my free guide. It's the Shy Entrepreneur's Guide to Success and Happiness. In there are so many of my best tips that I've picked up over the years that just have created, my success and a happy life on my terms, as an introvert, as a shy person. And I would love you to read it, and just, because like I say, I want to share everything that I've learned with, people that are like me. And I know there are people out there that, will be holding themselves back from achieving things that they want to do because of, their personality. But believe me, you've got to love your personality. You've got to embrace being shy and being quiet, because, there's room for all sorts of people in the world. And, why should you hold yourself back from sharing your brilliant ideas and things with the world? So if you want to get hold of that free guide, it's go to adeledecasso.com/free-guide. And you will be able to just input your name and email, and then you'll get immediate access to the guide. And you'll also get, from time to time, I'll share my best tips and ideas with you over email. So if you'd like to be part of that, then grab yourself the free guide. I'll put the link below in the comments as well. So I hope you have an amazing day. I'll see you all very soon, and thanks for watching. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. It really helps the channel to reach the people that need it. So thank you so much for watching. I'll see you soon. Bye for now.